All right, well, we're streaming. We're live. How you doing, everybody? We're drawing a Ford Jubilee tonight. I've got a picture of it here. This is the tractor that we're going to be drawing, and anyway, that's what we've got. So I hope y'all enjoy this. It's going to be a pretty quick drawing, quicker than my normal drawings. I will say that. We're going to try to get this cranked out in about an hour. That's about how much time I have. So let's just go ahead and get started. So I've already got the outline done. This is the outline right here. Beautiful, right? We're going to go ahead and I'm going to throw a piece of paper over what I'm not looking at here. We're going to work on this tire here first. When I'm working with tires, I like to start first with the lighter spots, whatever's going to be really light. Uh, for me, it's going to be this rim here. So I'm going to go ahead and put some white down. Now this is a General's brand charcoal white pencil, and that's what we've got. So anyway, we're gonna just kind of layer this in a little bit, just kind of light, but it's gonna be there. We'll know it's there, right? We can we can kind of know it's there, even though it's gonna be light. So anyway, my wife and kids are out of the house tonight. I said, well, you know what? That's a perfect time to try out this new setup for my lives that I've got. I got a new webcam last week, and got that set up, and it was working beautifully. And then I went to go live tonight, and it completely crapped out and crashed. This was supposed to be like a full tutorial on how to draw, like very detailed, extremely extremely photorealistic. Unfortunately, the camera crapped out on me, and I had to borrow my son's webcam, which is the one you're looking at here. And I had lost a lot of time on that. So we're going to make this a quick drawing because I only have about an hour and 15 minutes till the wife and kids will be back. And honestly, I don't want this to cut into my family time. So we're just going to make it a quick drawing. I hope everybody's all right with that. And that's what we got going. So this is only my second YouTube live I've ever done. I've done TikTok lives before quite often actually, and this is just a little bit different. Got more followers over on YouTube or on TikTok than I do YouTube, so it's tough. And later I'll repost this as a quick video. But for now, you're going full live. So anyway, if you're here and you want to drop a note in the chat, feel free. I'll try to pay attention as I go to the chat bar. I've never done this with YouTube. I don't even know if I'll get anybody on here. If we get anybody, we'll get somebody. If we don't, well, y'all can watch this later. Pretty new to the YouTube thing. I just started on YouTube about a month ago, and I've enjoyed it so far. I really have. It seems just like a better platform to me than the others I've been part of, TikTok and Facebook, Instagram. They each have their place. I think TikTok's great for growing. That's where I got my start with my comedy channel that I have, Jokes from the Bunker, and it was really good for that. It got me going, got me started. So you notice after I put some darkness in here, I'm coming back over. I'm just trying to gray this out. We don't want this to be black. I want this to be gray. So we're going to do a couple layers here until we get it about the right shade that we're looking for. And this is just, of course, a shadow that's cast off the top of the tire here that I'm doing. I always give this advice, whether people ask for it or not. Uh, Draw what you actually see. Don't draw what you think you see. I see people joining in here. How we doing, folks? Glad to see some people joining into my live. And if you're just watching this after the fact, go ahead and drop a comment where you're from. If you're here in my live, go ahead and tell me where you're from. And anyway, draw what you actually see. So most people here would want to draw every one of these lug nuts, but if you actually look at the drawing, let's see if I can get back over to it. If you actually look at the drawing, some of the lug nuts are kind of not shown. They're kind of merged in with the hub. So that's That's why we don't draw everything that we think we see. We draw exactly what we see. So anyway, all right. So I'm taking a blending stump now. These things are great. Actually, one of my people, I think it was on YouTube here, told me to clean these off. You can use this sandpaper, and it cleans it off pretty good. I never knew that before. That was pretty awesome. I've only been on YouTube a month, and I've learned something when I was trying to teach people something. So I'm just working from the center out, and if I darken something too much, I'll just come back and relighten it. But just starting here in the center, and I'm going to work my way out. And now I'm not keeping a lot of detail on this drawing. If I was doing this photorealistic, if I had a commission for someone that I was drawing for, I probably would give a little more detail than I am now. What I'm doing right now is I'm just trying to smudge it out, give it the appearance that it's three-dimensional without it being three-dimensional, without being super detailed. It might look detailed. That's what we're going for here. I like to call my drawings 8-foot drawings, 6-foot drawings, 8-foot drawings, something like that. They don't look good at 2 feet, but when you stand back and look at them on a wall, they look really good, which translates really well to online. Because for some reason, when I take a picture of my tractor drawing after I'm done, it looks better than it does in person. Which is really good for marketing standpoint, but as long as my people understand that. So, all right, we're going to leave those shadows in there. Like I said, we're just doing it quick. We'll come back and add a little bit more maybe, but for now, we're just going to do it pretty quick. All right. So I hope that looks all right on your screen. I'm going to start with the tread. I'm going to darken in some of these treads up here because I know they're like the darkest spot that we have. I've already figured that out, so I'm trying to do this without blocking the view. It's actually kind of tricky, I'll tell you that. More tricky than I thought it would be. So anyway, well, so if you've seen my drawings before, go ahead and tell me in the comments what is the favorite thing that I've drawn so far. Now go ahead and do that. I'm going to tell you what my favorite thing is. I'm going to give you a minute. I don't want to sway your opinion. Favorite thing I've drawn so far, in my opinion, is the barn that has the Farmall tractor in front of it. I really like that drawing a lot. It's only like a part of the tractor, but it just turned out so good. I was doing my outline. I missed this bar right here. It's there, so we got it back in. No problem, right? Got it back in. All right, well, we're going to keep moving along here. Feeling like I got something screwed up in here. No, I don't. All right, I see what's going on. See, the shadows change here a little bit. They're going from the front of the bar down to, from the top of the bar to the front of the bar. So we're just trying to fill that in as we see it. Try not to change much. We're just keeping it dark where it's dark, light where it's light. And once again, if I was doing this commission for somebody, or that was paying for it, I would take a lot more time to do this drawing than I am. That's where we're at. All right. Well, welcome if you just joined. I see a few people just joined us. Thank you for stopping by and seeing my live. Like I said, mostly here I'm just testing out some new software, trying to get this TikTok or this YouTube thing going. I'm still new to YouTube Live. I'm using this streaming software, and it's turned out pretty good, I think. How's the quality out there if you're watching? Let me know in the comment bar. Does the quality of this video look alright, sound alright? I know it might not sound great tonight. I'm going to work on getting a better microphone rigged up. I was struggling to even get this webcam rigged up for tonight. So. All right. All right, if you're just joining, let me switch over and show you what we're drawing. We're drawing this tractor right here, and that's where we're at. So if you don't already subscribe, go ahead and subscribe. I do a lot of these drawings like this. This is my first one live on YouTube, and honestly, it's been kind of fun so far. So let's see what we got here. Make sure I'm not losing my focus here. Now I'm over exaggerating the white highlights here. There's a reason for that, and the reason I'm over exaggerating these is that we're going to darken them here in a bit, but I want them to shine through. So that's where we're at. I want to be able to get the real contrast in there that is this kind of gear pattern that is the tires. So that's what we're doing. And just go on the opposite end on here. All right. Thank y'all for stopping by. I see a few of you coming in and out here, and I appreciate that. We'll get better with this as it goes. I do appreciate all my fans. Been very supportive over the year. The last year that I've been on TikTok with my comedy channel, and then been very supportive the last month or so of my art channel. My art channel is the newer portion. It's I used to draw all the time, and I got burnt out. I stopped drawing, but I'm back to it. I really enjoy it again. So that's where my future focus is. I think is on the art side of things. So y'all's getting the ground zero seat here right at the beginning. Getting it going. So. All right, now that I've got that colored, I'm going to take another blending stump. That's a little bit bigger blending stump. And I always start with the tread itself. For me, when I do the front and the bottom of the tread, or the front and the top of the tread, depending where it's at, it locks it in. Like, it makes it, yep, that's the tread, you know what I mean? Then I'll come back and I'll shade the rest. Start in the middle here on the tire itself. This is just going to be dark. Once again, if I was doing this commission for somebody, I'd put a little bit of depth into this, but for what we're doing tonight, nobody's actually going to care. So, you might care. If you care, that's fine. What should I do with this drawing? Should I give it away? Should I sell it? Should I hang it on my wall? Tell me that one too in the comments. And if I give it away, how should I do it? If I sell it, how should I do it? Just trying to do something a little different here. Alright, there's that. Now we're going to come in here a little bit lighter touch in between the treads. This bottom, you know, it gives the appearance it's there because of those little white stripes that I put there, but there's no detail in this whatsoever. I mean, it's literally no detail. And that's what makes these so easy to draw for me. You don't have to give a lot of detail, and you can make a really good looking tractor. Now, I draw other things in tractors. Sometimes I draw cars and trucks and that type of stuff. Now I don't typically draw anything that lives and breathes. I'm really bad at that, actually. I'm not good at all at making soft things and things that breathe. I'm terrible at drawing people. Very terrible. So I know you've got millions and millions of videos out there on YouTube, and you're watching this one right now, and I appreciate that. don't think for a minute I don't appreciate my fans, 'cause fans are great. I hope someday to be able to make this like a full-time gig. But for now, this is just how I relieve stress from my day-to-day job. My day-to-day job, I'm a building automation technician, and that's what I do. All right, there's that. What do y'all think? Turned out pretty good, right? All right, moving up to the fender. Now I'm going to start at the top of this fender, right? And now I noticed here that I did not finish the outline here, which is fine. The outline just gets me started. I can always come back in and add it later. It's a nice thing with this. So there it is. That's pretty much the part I missed. Now I went outside my lines here. I use this eraser. This is a Mono Z eraser. I think Mono Zero eraser. It's one of the best erasers I've ever had. It's very, very pointy. It's like a mechanical pencil, but an eraser. All right, real quick, back to our reference drawing. This is what we're looking at right here. I'm currently working on that rear left. It'd be a right rear fender, I guess. I don't know. All right, there we go. Now we did that. Now it needs to curve back around here, but that's going to be curved back around with a dark line, and it hits right about here, right? So there we go, fender. There's another dark line in here that I forgot to draw, and then there's a shadow or something up here. I don't really know what that is. Up here, there's a real dark shadow. All right, and then the rest of this, I'm just going to very lightly just get some charcoal in there. I'm using charcoal pencils. These are General brand, typically, that I use, and I really like them a lot. They're cheap. They're very easy to use. Work for me in anything I need to do, and I don't know any better. Once you stick with something for quite a while, you know that works. There's no need for me to explore and see what else there is, because that worked really well. So. All right. All right. There's that. Now, pull back and see what we got. So there's our outline, our tractor, and our outline, tractor, outline. Just gonna move over a little bit. We can hit the seat now. I love drawing seats most of the time. Once again, I'm just starting with either the dark spot or the light spot. I forget people can see me here. Hi, how you doing? This is that's the difference on here and TikTok. On TikTok, when I go live, you only got one camera, and it's I always forget there's people here. So I'm gonna look back on this in 10 years, and I hope and say, man, that was a terrible first long form live. And nobody's gonna be able to argue with me because it's what it is. So. Got to start somewhere, right? They say just start doing it. If you want to do it, just start doing it. Now, I'm going to see if I can get away here. Now, I didn't color that in. I colored the dark spots, colored the light spots. I've got some charcoal already on my blending stump. I'm going to try to draw with this instead of coming in here with a lot of detail. So, and sometimes if you're trying to get just a lighter shade of gray, you get it. And that's what we got. All right, hopefully you can see this pretty well. Yeah, if I'm trying to get a lighter shade of gray, a lot of times I just put the charcoal. If I've got a blending stump I've already used, I'll just use that, or I'll just color on another piece of paper and come back in. And it worked just like that. All right, now coming back to the steering, or the shifter. So the shifter's in here. There's already got a white stripe in there. Let's put a black line down here that'll just kind of transition with it. Boom, boom, boom. There it is. Hey, do me a favor, if you're here live, go ahead and leave a comment. Let me know where you're from. I'd like to know where I'm being broadcast at. That'd be cool. That would be cool. Alright, so I think I'm not really familiar with Fords. I grew up on anything but Fords, honestly. I think I drove one Ford my entire life. This old N style Ford. This is a Jubilee. I believe it's actually from the factory. It had an N designation anyway. I don't remember, but I think that's probably like your lift right here. I don't know what that is. Anybody know what that is? Let me know in the comments if you know what it is. I'm just assuming it's like a 3-point or some type of a lift. You know, who knows? I'm assuming 3-point unless somebody else tells me differently. So, alright, now pay attention in here when you're doing stuff like this that you don't get too light. You don't have to do too much with this white pencil here. I'm just trying to get the basic highlights of things in here. And this is really just going to be kind of a black blob, for lack of better terms. Just a black blob. There's not a lot of detail that shines through to me when I look at it. Other people might look at it differently, obviously. Everybody looks at things a little bit differently. But to me, I don't see much in here. I see, this, if that's brake pedal. Once again, if I'm completely off base, it's because I don't know Fords. First tractor I ever drove was a Ford, but it was a big Ford 8000. It wasn't this little thing. A few years later, All right. Once again, there's a quick drawing. We're not putting a ton of time into it. I want to get this thing done in an hour, and that's what we're shooting for. So, all right, back to my blending stump. First thing here, finish off this stuff here. And the way I do it, I look at stuff, I'll get my colors in, and then I'll mostly just run my smudger, my blending stump, really quickly across, unless I know of a specific detail. There's not much to this thing. It really isn't. I hope, this is what I hope. I hope somebody watching says, dang, that looks easy. And then goes home and gets a pencil and tries it themselves. That would make my day more than anything. I've had a few people on TikTok tag me in videos and share it with me and say, look, you inspired me and I drew this. And some of them actually look pretty darn good. So I'm impressed sometimes with these people, what they're capable of. I like to inspire people. It's just makes me happy. Makes me happy. All right. We're done that section. I'm going to move over just a little bit. Now I've got this here. I kind of forgot this was here. That's the back. It'll be the left rear fender. I'm going to make that really white. So if we go to our reference drawing, it's in there. It's definitely in there. It's just really white. So, and if anybody's interested, that reference drawing I took at the Sarpy County Fair. It's the Elkhorn Valley Tractor Show, which is attached to Sarpy County Fair in Springfield, Nebraska. I took a bunch of pictures that day. It's the only tractor show that I've actually gotten to this year. And, well, it had some good things to draw. So that's where that is. All right, going back to this now. I need blending stump that's not colored up. I keep this one around. This is, you can kind of see it. It's a white tip on it. I only use this end of this one for white. I won't darken that way. I use it a lot, but only for white. All right. Let me get that clean cut in there. So hope you like that. All right. Now that we're done steering wheel, I'm going to sharpen my pencil. I'm using a Prismacolor sharpener. I found that this is probably the best sharpener for charcoal that you can get, other than like craft knife. And it sharpens things really quick, like 2 or 3 turns, and you've got the sharpest you'd ever want it. Now, I'm going to do the same with my white pencil before I hit this. There's a little white highlight on the top of a steering wheel. Most steering wheels have it, and it really makes it pop. So in this one, I'm seeing it right here. That's it, just a reflection. You know, I think the sun's probably behind me here when I took the picture. There's a little bit there, and then this one here. There it is. In the middle of the steering column, there's another white reflection. That's going to make it pop. And then there's that little lever right there. That little lever I want to hit first. There it is. Not much to it. All right, and the rest of this, we're going to just come in here. And I've covered that up. You're thinking, you fool, you just spent time putting it in there. Why done covering it up? But it's in there. It's definitely in there. We'll find it. We'll find it back in a minute. So, all right. There's that. All right, back to blending stump. Give a nice sharp point on my blending stump. Boop, boop, bop, 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 bop. There it is. I got to figure out where to put the happy little squirrel in here. Bob Ross was a huge inspiration of mine growing up. I used to watch his show, and I would grab my crayons and I'd try to draw what he was painting. I always wondered why it never turned out that good. Well, it's because he's using oil paints. I'm using Crayola. Probably not even Crayola. I'm probably using like a Walmart brand or something. All right. I'm going to try to do this hood now. I've got a reference drawing right here that I'm looking at. I'm going to flip it over so I can see what I got going on. For the most part, top of this hood I'm going to color in white. There's a bump up here. Make sure I can still see. We're going to come in pretty heavy with white up here. Now it's actually gray, so we'll tone it out in a little bit. But that's what we got. Now this is really white right there. And I'll come up over this. Now you're thinking I went over that and I did, and I don't know what I'm going to do to fix that. Yeah, just color it in with the blending stump. Now I can tell it's still there, but for what we're doing today, this is fine. I'll never do that on a commissioned document that I'm making, or a commissioned piece. Also, you probably think, if you know the Fords, you're missing the logo here. I don't put logos. Very rarely do I put logos, at least ones that you can really see in detail. And the reason for that is it's kind of gray copyright trademark law. If I was to put it on there, technically, if Ford didn't like me having their logo on my drawing, it could be a problem. And honestly, I just don't feel like getting a lawyer, so I don't draw logos. You'll see some of my earlier stuff had logos, and I learned better not to do that, so that's what we got. Alright, now, also you notice I'm using this gray paper. I only do that to make the whites pop. This gray paper makes charcoal and white pastel and white chalk, whatever I'm using at the time, makes it really look good. So that's what I'm doing. So, all right, I'm going to come back in with this white blender that I had. And I say white blender, if you weren't here before, if you're just joining my live, I only use this for white. Keeps it nice and crisp so I don't darken it too much. It's still going to darken a little bit as you go. I'm just blowing on the drawing here to get the excess chalk off there. You can see right here I picked up a little bit of color. That's all right. I just want to get that shadow in here a little bit. So, all right. If y'all's watching this live, go ahead and drop a comment. Let me know where you're from. I want to see where this is going out to. That'd be great. And if you don't want to, that's fine too. Hope y'all enjoy what you're seeing here. Check out my other stuff if you haven't already too. I've really enjoyed making this content lately. I hope y'all enjoy watching it now. See, I got a little black tip on there. What am I going to do with that black tip? Let's find a dark spot. I think right up here, a little bit darker. And right in here for some reason, there's a little bit of a shadow. That shadow kind of continues down here. Now, I don't even know if this little subtle difference is showing up on the camera. It might be, it might not be. But it's there. Alright. Now that I got that done, this is my favorite thing to draw other than steering wheels. These headlights. I love drawing headlights. Alright, so for the headlight, I'm just going to start in the middle and do little lines. Right, and I'm going to go to the top and I'm going to do some little lines. And then I'm going to go to the bottom and I do some little lines. Now I'm looking at my reference drawing as I go. I want it to kind of look like it looks there. I'm going to come back in here now. See in my reference drawing that there's kind of washed out white there. And I come back across to what I just drew. And I'm following the same shape of that. Boop doop doo. Alright. It's really bright right there. Really bright right there. And the rest of this is a little bit darker, but it's still gray. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to put a little bit of this in. Alright, now I'm going to do a different technique here for this. It's paintbrush, standard paintbrush. I'm just going to smudge my gray up with a paintbrush. Painting with charcoal with Clem. That's what you're seeing here. And I'm going to wash this out a little bit. There we go. We have ourselves a headlight. I love the way these things turn out. I'm going to see if I can move it up so y'all can see. You see that headlight? Beautiful, right? There we go. Alright, I'm not looking forward to this engine compartment. I'll tell you why. The reference photo, there's a plastic bag that's covering part of the engine in the reference photo. So I don't have a good reference on what everything looks like in here. So that's a shame, but it is what it is. We adapt. When we don't know what's there, we adapt. And in some cases, we just blacken it out. I'm just finding the darkest spots or the lightest spots, whichever end you want to go first. I like to sometimes do dark, sometimes do light. It all ends up coming out in the end. So working one section at a time. Boop doop doo. There it is. That's the tire from behind. Now, before I lose it, put this back on. Right, before I lose it, I'm gonna come in here with some white highlights. I want to hit the top of this right here, and then I want to come in across the top here. Guess that's like a steering rod. I'm a Farmall guy. I grew up on Farmalls. I don't know these Fords. I've said that a few times, but it's true. You know, they're just a little bit different. A little bit different. This is going to get darker. Don't be fooled. It's there, but it's going to get reference drawing. Back to my reference drawing. I'm starting to see more people joining in here, and I appreciate y'all coming to watch me draw. If you ain't subscribed already, subscribe. That would be great. I'd love that. Alright, that there. This here. And we'll just do kind of a top here. A bit here. I don't know. What do y'all think? You think that's going to turn out? An axle here. Top of the brush guard mount. Into the axle. This pause here is when I'm looking over at my reference drawing, just so you know. If anybody just joined me, this is my reference drawing I'm looking at, and I'm back. Alright. I don't know, I don't see much else in here. So, the secret that I'm giving out today is when you're drawing an engine compartment, don't over detail. Don't over detail. You don't need a lot of detail. It's dark in there. My dog just kicked my foot. I broke my toe the other day. Pretty sure I broke my toe. I tripped over a kettlebell in my garage, and then next thing you know, my toe's throbbing. So my dog just ran into my toe here while we're talking. That's not good. Not good at all. Now I see that this end of here is pretty dark, so I'm going to darken up a little more. I see kind of that. Top of this is dark. Alright. This might be about all the detail we're going to get in here. Okay. I'll show you what I'm doing. Now, I'm using this same big blending stump I have, but I'm using the other end of it. The other end I do use for gray. The first thing I'm going to do is get that there. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to blur everything in here. Being careful to keep my sharp edges on contrast. Not too worried about the details in the engine compartment, because as you know, I left most of that out. True die-hard Ford fans will see that, and they'll be like, you left out a lot of detail in there. And that's fine. And I will add detail if I'm selling it. But for what we're doing here today, we're good enough. There's our engine. Like I said, not a lot of detail. Don't need it. Don't need the detail. Alright, I'm going to hit this tire while I'm here. Now, this tire is, I have my drawing folded. I can't see. I have to unfold it here for a second. Unfold it. There we go. Smash it down. Now I can see. Alright, we're going to come in here with a white pencil. First thing I'm going to do, I see up here, for some reason, there's a real light stripe that comes down here, wraps around, all the way around the bottom. With the exception of this little bit of a dark shadow. For that dark shadow, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to put a little bit, very, very light underneath of my white. I'm still going to do white on top of it. There it is. It sometimes almost looks blue when you do that, which is fine. It does look fine from a distance. That's what we go for, is from a distance. That's it. Alright, let's see right here. And I'm going to do that stripe. I try rib tires. A lot of people will draw all three ribs, but in all honesty, you don't see ribs in all spots. So that's about what I do for a tri-rib tire most of the time, and it'll turn out okay. There is a bit of a light highlight here that's pretty much stands out. The same right here. Alright, coming back in. I never can draw this hub in. We're just putting it in now. That's fine. My outline sometimes doesn't have everything. It just has what I need, and nothing more, nothing less. So, Alright, I want to pay real close attention on these front tires, where these spots are that are kind of flattened out on the rim. It goes around like that. You'll see that on most antique tractors. You really will. And once again, I'm just doing some basic rough shapes for the. Just need a little bit bigger. For the lug nuts and everything else. Alright, now I know there's there. Just come out on each side. Boom, 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 boom. A bit of a shade. Now we can fill in the rest of this white. And it'll be a little bit darker shade of gray by the time we're done. And that's fine. That's what we're going for. Alright, before we go too far, let's blend it out. Hub, lug nut, lug nut, lug nut, lug nut, lug nut, lug nut. Center section. Keeping some highlights there. The one spot we want to focus on here is blending that down so that it looks smooth. Smooth-ish. We're not going for smooth. We're going for smooth-ish. Alright. Seems a little dark. We can always come back in over top of it with a little bit of this stuff. And we'll hit it again. There it is. See, there's lighter. Alright. On to the black of the tire. Appreciate the likes too. I just looked up and noticed that I've gotten some likes. Appreciate those. Makes me feel good. I'm doing something that people enjoy. I drew years ago. Loved drawing, and I got a few commissions, and I was making okay money. I wasn't able to retire off of it, but it was enough to give me a little bit extra spending money for Christmas and whatnot, and help the family out. But I had a few people that just I didn't like dealing with. Had to give it up. A few people ruined it for everybody. But the worst part is I love drawing. It's one of my favorite things. It really is. It relaxes me. I forget. I got a very stressful job. I'm in project management for an automation company. And sometimes I get really terrible customers that I deal with, or coworkers, or whatnot. Other contractors. And this is the one thing that I can come into and forget the world exists. Too far with that. There it is. Alright. And, well, when I stopped drawing because I got burnt out on drawing, I didn't have that. So, it wasn't cool. I think I can get rid of this at this point. We're almost there. Alright. Bear with me if you want to finish this. That's what we're trying to make, and that's what we're making. Trying to make it. Alright. Cool. Adjust my seat here quick. Make sure I'm still in the picture. Alright. I think we're ready for some more white. Let's sharpen up this white. Let's see, with this, about 2 turns. And it's a brand new pencil. If you go 3 turns, you'll break your point almost every time. And come in here early with this. think this is one of my whitest sections, and it fades out a little bit, but that's what that is. Alright, and then the rest of the white, there's like a bump here, there's a bump here, it goes across to there. That's my other white section, right there. Alright, and then top of this, there's one. This is frame down here, it's going to be dark. And then just need to finish this out. The front of the, I didn't draw this in, but it's kind of right in here. There's right there. Follow that around a little more over here. It comes up. That's it. Alright. So I'm going to lighten this just a little bit. Get it in there. Alright. Grills always bother me. They're sometimes the hardest thing to draw, mostly because it's so many little teeny lines. But I think this one will turn out alright. I really do. What else we got? Right in here. We got that. Alright. I'm going to sharpen this pencil now. And I'm just going to come in here. I'm going to start putting these lines down. Now, I'm not doing the full amount. We're going to keep this as kind of an optical illusion. That's our darkest section. And then down here we've got a little bit of a dark section. Alright. I'm going to take a lighter pencil. This is a HB graphite pencil. I'm going to finish this off here. So it's not all charcoal. This is a standard like number 2 pencil that I'm using right now. I just want to get that kind of in there, but not super dark. Alright. That's what I wanted with that. Come back in here. Come back with our white. This is white down here. Ends right here though. I almost went too far. Alright. Back up into this. This, it's gray, but there's a heck of a shadow on it. So it's going to be a darker gray. Alright. Appreciate y'all stopping by and watching this that are here. Who do. Thank you for that. If you feel like giving me a subscribe, you can. I'm on TikTok. Handle is Tractor Art. I'm on here, Tractor Art, and on Instagram it's Clem's Tractor Art. This Tractor Art was already taken. Alright. Coming back across, just add a little bit of a white into there because let's not forget that is a white gray grill. So we don't want to forget it. Alright. I'm going to use my white blender even though I've got some gray down. We can clean it up later. We're going to start with the whiter sections. This is gray, obviously. It's still whiter. Might need to come back in and lighten that up some. we're just lightening this up again. I want to keep it still separated from this one spot because it's not as light as that, but it's still white. All right, got to do on my brush guard this fender, or this front of the frame, and this tire yet, and then we'll be done. So we're going to start underneath of here. This is dark. This will provide like the absolute best contrast. I just want this to be really dark. This contrast makes everything look better on these drawings. Now, typically, I would be moving this around left and right to try to get a better angle on what I'm drawing, but I can't really do that with y'all on here, so it makes it a little uncomfortable to draw. Makes my back hurt the next morning. I would definitely highly suggest that if you're drawing this, move your board around to a comfortable angle as you go. That's it. As you can see, there's not a lot to this for me. It's just getting the right amount of charcoal in the right amount of places and going from there. Moving my arm the wrong way, completely backwards to get that comfortable. Made it to one nice 8N. Just got done with a Ford 6000 Commander. I made it to the end of your description. Do you still farm? I do not farm anymore. The last time I actually worked on my family farm would have been high school. Now, worked in gardens and whatnot after that. The family farm, we sold the farm I lived on when I was just going into high school. But I continued to work on my grandfather's farm until end of high school, and then some of my cousins kind of took over the farm, and my dad didn't really get along with everybody there, so we didn't stay at the farm much longer, and that's it. So yeah, I don't farm anymore. My dad kind of got out of it at the same time. We tractor pulled all the way up. I mean, still today, my family tractor pulls, and I do when I'm back. My dad passed away last January due to COVID, and up until then, he still tractor pulled. So we were still around tractors, still had a bunch of tractors, just not on a farm. Had it on a 3-acre piece of property. I moved away for work out to Nebraska, originally from Maryland, and yeah, so that's where I'm at now. There's a really bad lag on the live stream here, so if you're leaving a comment, I don't get it for another 2 or 3 minutes, so just bear in mind. I'm not ignoring you if I don't respond right away. It's just a very significant lag. I think that has to do with one, I set the lag pretty normal so that it would not delay not make it look worse. That's where I'm at. So anyway, I'd love to be back on a farm for, I don't want to live on, I wouldn't mind living on a farm. I don't want to be a farmer per se. That's too much work, but I wouldn't mind being back on a farm for a little while to just work and get back to that, not as a full-time gig, just as a yeah, just as something to reminisce back to the old days. I've always had this dream of starting like a museum farm where you only use, you know, period specific equipment for each section of the farm, and invite the, the public out to watch the demonstrations and all that as you're working. I always thought that would be really cool to do. Maybe in the future someday. That'd be amazing. Alright, so that's the gist of it. I want to add a little bit more detail in underneath of here on these things because they've kind of gotten lost. So I'm exaggerating some of this here on the brush guard just so you can see where they start and stop and that, and I'll smudge them back in a little bit. The museum idea would be awesome. I've seen it done, at shows and whatnot where they're showing equipment, old equipment. I've never, and it may exist out there, I've never seen a museum farm where you're using all. I would like to see it so that you could have several areas, and you could have one area that's based in the 40s, and one in the 50s, one in the 60s, 70s, whatever, and just on and on. I think that would be great, but I sure don't have enough money to do it. If somebody wants to front the money and do it, I would definitely love a royalty off of that. Just think that'd be a cool idea someday. All right, so that's my drawing. Last thing I do, I'm going to sign it. And now I got to figure out what to do with it. I don't know what to do with it. Should I keep it, sell it, give it away, hang it on my wall, burn it? I don't know. Let me know in the comments what I should do with it. That's what I got. All right, where should I sign it? You know what? I'll sign it here. I always put the year. That's more for my reference than anything, so that I can look back on it and say, oh, I did this one in this year. In the future. I also typically do a two-tone signature. Alright, last thing to do is clean it up a little bit. Got some stray boogers there. You know what? I feel like I'm missing something here. I am missing something. There's no shadow under this thing. I feel like it needs a shadow. Alright. The National Farm Toy Museum in Dyersville, Iowa. I've heard of that, and I've wanted to get there. That's where Ertle's from, I believe, right? And it's honestly not that far from me. I'm just south of Omaha, Nebraska, so it wouldn't be a stretch for me to get out there. I'd love to get there sometime. That'd be great. I love farm toys. So, all right, that's it. That's it, y'all. What do you think? I think it looks pretty good. All right, well, that's what I got. I don't know which way to go on this thing. There we go. Oh, there you are. Let me know what you think. That's what I got. I hope y'all enjoyed this. I'm going to try to do more of these lives. I got to get a better camera. This is my son's webcam. I just stole off his computer a little while ago because my camera that I just bought on Sunday crapped already. It's no good. It stopped working. So that's what I got. And yeah. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed this. And that's all I got. Be good, y'all. This has been fun. Let's do more of these. I'm gonna try to, I don't know, try to do this maybe like once a week or something. We'll see. So that's all I got. Catch y'all